Greetings and salutations. It's almost Halloween, and so we are back to entertain you. That's the introduction for this one. You can tell, thoroughly rehearsed. Hi.
Oh yeah, we planned this.
Hell yeah. I am your dungeon master, as always, Bjorn Anders, and this is everyone. Say whatever you want, everyone.
Whatever you want, everyone.
You know, that time you were more in sync than you've ever been on all of the say hi, everyone. And, this is great. Well,
And Pueo says hello.
It's always wonderful to see Pueo. I think for announcements, we really just kind of have the one, yeah?
Yep, we just have the one Jamie announcement.
Oh gosh.
That's okay. She's been murdering her thirst, so she can give the announcement properly.
Still not a sponsor.
Yet.
Still welcome to be a sponsor.
We really want you to be.
We'll keep trying, Liquid Death.
Hey y'all, we now have a coffee / thing we still don't know how to pronounce. That
No one
if
does.
you want to send us actual human money, you can do so. The address is ko-fi.com/dicejailers. And we are hoping to do such cool things as have commissioned character art and pay for the stuff we've already spent, things we've already used, and make everything better and better sound. And I don't even know. I don't understand any technical things. I don't know why I'm the one making this announcement. But if you want to help us, ko-fi.com/dicejailers. Money, please.
Phoenix, I literally just found that exact. Phoenix just posted in our chat. I found it here and I was about to share. It is, how do you pronounce it? It rhymes with no fee. So Ko-fi is
Ko-fi.
how it is said. Rhymes with no fee.
No
Phoenix
fee.
shared that in
And,
our chat.
Jamie, now that we know how to say Ko-fi, why don't you tell them what they'll get if they subscribe to give us $5 a month through Ko-fi?
Go to the head.
I would love to do that, Jordan.
That's a higher
They get
tier.
to be
That question.
they get to be on our Discord and see all our memes and be there for our AMA channel.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, obvious. as
Which is
you've
going to be
seen,
just a bastion of truth.
we are. This is just a crack team, and we absolutely know what we're doing. And if you were to join us on our Discord channel, you could, see the memes. You could see the things that we're saying to each other during the streams of usually very important dick jokes and the like. And you could join us in the wild speculation where the recent discussion was which of us is going to fall off the train first, and that hasn't happened yet. So stay tuned.
Yet.
Oh, I said yet.
So that boot to the head Phoenix mentioned comes in.
Yes, for the low price of $5 of human money, you can join our nonsense on a daily basis as opposed to a weekly basis.
Yep.
Back to you, Jordan.
That's the end of our announcements. Bjorn?
Well-oiled machine. It's a completely well-oiled machine. But before long, it'll almost be like there was rehearsal. That said, you all lovely individuals have been aboard a train that has left the Vagabond Assemblage and then left the city of Virtue within the Sharon Vale, now crossing into the Thanamirian Empire. You were hired by Marshal Elijah Bicker to infiltrate this train via 2 first-class tickets, 2 standard tickets, and 2 staff badges to get into the office of high-ranking military official and census member Castian Oloro and get your hands on his dossier, his ledger, to see what information could be gleaned out of it that was worthwhile, figuring out maybe why the census was so suddenly up in the assemblage right when this arcane reservoir was discovered. Through some clever uses of spells and a very timely distraction in the form of a fist fight started by a new ally of yours, Siobhan, Reba, and Garnet snuck along the top of the train, reaching the train car where Castian's office was. Reba, having done some earlier reconnaissance, knew where some magical sources of abjuration magic were within this car. Through 2 uses of Dispel Magic, was able to dispel one window, and after that window was pried open, a drawer on the desk within there. Siobhan continued towards the back of the train, her plans to reach the caboose to possibly throw the braking system from the rear. As an invisible Garnet snuck through, Commander! Salute to Puppy. As an invisible Garnet began sneaking through this office, an individual appeared in there as well via a dimension door. The Dusk Elf by the name of Olaferus, which you all have encountered before. Olaferus grabbed the dossier, which Garnet decided to take off of his person. There was a brief struggle of sorts, and Garnet got away with it. Olaferus left through one of the doors, which seemingly triggered an alarm spell, as Castian instantly got up from the meal he was at with Kira, Mannix, and a very wealthy elvish nobility of the Empire, and began heading off in the direction of his office, Kira in tow. As you all at the rear of the train were going to your own devices, Garnet and Reba on top of the train car, this Dusk Elf appeared on top and began combat with Reba. Through some good luck, some bad luck, Reba was able to survive the encounter long enough to get information to Castian, who had now reached the back of the train, about what was going on. Garnet having snuck away into the storage car to begin thumbing through this dossier for information. The Dusk Elf, seeing that the tide had turned against him, dipped down out of view and dimension doored away to, you all don't know exactly where right now. Castian ordered one of the members of his garrison to cast a locate object spell to find his ledger. Garnet, having flipped through it, gleaning some information, unsure of the usefulness of any of this info as of yet. Siobhan, now entering this train car, having encountered Garnet, having a brief conversation about what to do with this dossier, this journal. And as this conversation's happening, the doorway to the cargo car of the train opens, and the shape of Castian stands in the doorway. Kira calling out in a slightly louder than conversational volume about hoping that whoever took it just stashed it in a place where it could be recovered later. And that's where we pick up as you two are in this car. I would imagine you're somewhere slightly out of sight, as Garnet does not strike me as the kind of thief who would just sit crisscross applesauce in the middle of a car where anybody who walks in might see her. So I would say you all haven't been spotted as of yet, as Castian and Kira and this mage who had cast the locate object spell began stepping into the car. Mannix still completely unaware of anything that's going on for the most part, as he and this elven woman are still just having a very lovely lunch together. So, what do you all want to do?
Pardon, where are, like, the rest of us? Is this something that it's just the the military, the Empire people who went along? Am I along with them? Is
If
Reba
you-
or
if
any of
you
us
wanted
along?
to, if you wanted to go along with Pohaku, you absolutely could, as
Oh.
you were fighting against this individual who
Okay.
Reba had said was the one who broke in to Castian's office, which this deception seems to be believed. I imagine Reba, they probably wouldn't let you come along because you're
There's no way.
yeah, you're staff and you're also wounded. So
Right, your staff.
yes, some of them might be tending to your wounds a bit, making sure you're okay. Like right now, like members of the Thanamirian army and even a couple census members, like they're tending to your wounds, making sure you're all right. Mannix is just having a great time with Mannix. What's the soup? What's the soup they're serving?
Well, we've
Oh,
gotten to the
this was
course.
actually this was a delightful autumnal butternut squash with a little creme fraiche, a brown sugar creme fraiche across the top. Wow, it's wonderful, and we're pairing it with a very nice fumé blanc.
Nice. I have to ask this. I have to ask this question. Did you say it was an autumnal butternut squash because you remembered what season in the year the game is taking place right now, or is that coincidental?
I actually remember that that's
Nicely
when this
done.
is taking
See?
place, and
That
I appreciate that question being taken because that's fair. But yes.
My players pay attention. That's why I'm the luckiest DM in the world. I'm the luckiest boy on earth.
Also, just in my
so
head,
happy right now.
every time it comes back to Mannix, it's just like it's like a montage, right? It's like there's not even any real like dialogue happening when you cut back to him. It's just like maybe mid conversation they're laughing.
How many coffees has he had?
Oh, he's had 8
Nice.
Love it.
copies.
All of which
moments-
happened in multiples of 2, though.
Oh yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was he had 8. He had 4 times.
Yep.
It's moments like that that make me wish so much that we had the money for an animated series,
Oh,
just for the jump cuts of the fight. Mannix, Mannix with the charcuterie. The fight, Mannix with the salad. The fight, Mannix with soup.
I just want an animated series of Manic Soul downtime. But as all
Cooking
this
with and from the soul.
exactly.
Oh, he's also been telling her about his family members, mostly his brother Funk, who she just could not get enough of.
His funk soul brother.
When was he telling her about that?
That was done the soup course.
Not right about now. Man, I tried to set you up for that one. Come on, man.
I didn't want to be too overt with it.
Oh, man. That
I
was
couldn't just say.
Well, then I had to do it for you. Fine.
I love this game.
Well-oiled machine.
I love you all. But with that all said, yeah, I would say Siobhan and Garnet, what are you guys doing right now as you hear these folks enter the train car you're all in?
Okay.
Garnet's gonna think at Siobhan, okay, stick with me on this, and she's gonna pop out and say, "At last you're here. Did you get him? Oh my god!"
Apparently he got away. I assume you're referring to the Dusk Elf.
Yeah, you know, Alaphorus, the guy that came out and attacked us like way back in the woods back there. That One Eye asked us to come back and track and make sure he was like going actually back to the Empire and not just like coming to fuck shit up.
Yes, unfortunately he ran before I could get my hands on him. If I'd had but a moment more, I could have brought him.
I'm sure you
in.
could have. I mean, you're Castian, right? I mean,
Well, I've heard my reputation precedes me. I don't know that I always live up to it.
you're just being modest. Kira's told us so much about you and how you ran with his father and stuff. He really looks up to you.
It's very kind. But apparently, looks like he didn't get away with what he was looking for. Is my dossier?
Yeah, it's right here. You're welcome.
Real
Takes me-
quick, so
Yeah.
pardon, I just remembered so I went back to our heist prep sheet.
Yeah.
It was a fake the whole time. We prepped up a duplicate.
I love you, Phoenix.
So flashing back briefly, give me a quick rundown. What was that process of coming up with the duplicate there?
So those of you, I'm hoping that somebody here is better at forging than Pohaku, because he ain't so good at that. But we discussed, in the event that we're able to successfully nab this thing, somebody's probably going to have the ability to track it down. We should take that into account. So maybe we could see what we could do about that.
And so in this planning process, you had acquired two things. One was a set of pages to be placed within, become the fake, and a pen that could copy at a ridiculous rate. And Garnet, you spent some of that time copying one to another, maybe leaving out a few things here and there if you thought maybe that was overly important information. And so just as you heard some voices outside of the door, you took the inner pages, slid them out from the leather-bound jacket on the exterior of this, and placed your fake within, knowing that should someone try and use location magics, they often have to have seen said item. And if you're looking at this, you have looked at the exterior and not so much of the interior. So the page count very likely matches. At a glance, one would never be able to tell the difference. Now, when he goes through, who knows how much information you did completely copy, but on your person, you have the pages
Oh my god.
of this entire dossier as you hand over this fake. And thank you. This is at least a relief. And he places it on his person. Well done. You deserve to truly be thanked. I know just the thing. How would you like to be my guests to dine in first class for the remainder of the voyage?
Garnet kind of looks down at her staff uniform. It'd be kind of awkward, but I think I can probably find a different change of clothes. I just have to go check with I forget the guy's name. I wrote it down.
Yeah, Garnet would remember it. That would
Where
be
was that?
Jalara T-Song.
Yes, I just have to go check with T-Song. I wouldn't want to leave him in a reach, or
Oh,
you know,
I just
because you know I
when you were
actually
off.
have been working.
Oh, of course. But I figured when
but-
you were off shift, I know they don't have you all working, night
Yeah,
and day,
yeah.
every day. And yes, and in fact, if you are ever, if you are all, in any of you coming to the capital city, I would absolutely make sure that good word was put in so you could receive the best accommodations of lodgings for a bit of a stay. It's the least I can do for what you've done for me. Thank you.
And he genuinely is buying all this and is cool.
Oh yeah, he rolled piss poor on his observation of the journal. So as far as you can tell, he's completely believing every bit of it, hook, line, and sinker.
Amazing. I also have to go check on that poor other worker who got caught in the crosshairs. I was running away, but it didn't sound good.
Well, I'd like to at least give you some relief. I have some of my soldiers tending to her wounds, or some of them have already been healed, and she should be very much on her feet, but without question, she'll probably want to rest for a bit.
That makes sense. Does
So
she seem a bit in
Siobhan-
shock?
A little bit. She was the one who was able to get word to me of what was happening. I do feel horrible that I wasn't here soon enough to stop this individual completely.
So Siobhan in Garnet's head is like, I'm so fucking confused. Are we pretending to be us? Wait, no. Are we still doing our covers, or have we admitted who we are?
Garnet back. I mean, I admitted who I am, but I'm still staying in my cover because I still don't want to leave the other workers. Like, I still like them. I still want to do my job.
Right. Top very much. And just in the background, when it happens, I'm just going to assume that all of Siobhan's brothers are more charismatic than her, so she's used to them lying their asses off and her just being in the background, like. So, and yeah, and originally she was like taking her glasses off, making sure her hair was covered, but then as soon as Garnet was like, "Oh yeah, we fucked these guys before." Oh, I'm just okay. Glasses back on. I guess we're not. What is happening right now?
Well, I have a meal to get back to. Kira,
Siobhan might want to go to first class. She just had a regular ticket.
Of course. Would you care to dine in first class at my table?
In my head to Garnet, what in the actual fuck have you just done? And I turn to him.
Ohaku just interrupts. We'd be delighted. Food sounds great. Come
Perfect.
on. And I just grab Siobhan, kind of by the arm, just kind of hook her arm. We should. It sounds like more food. It might even they might even have like stuff with sugar on it.
And then because I have this ability in his head, I'm like, we're both terrible at lying. What are you doing?
What do I need to lie about? I'm going there to have food.
Well, I do want to know what the tomato bisque is, so.
And
I go along.
On that note, Pohaku blurts out, I've heard of exceptional things about the tomato bisque. Is it available?
I mean, I know they have that even in the standard dining car. I'm sure we could have it brought up. I was never a fan.
I look around at the group and
Oh, sorry guys.
hot
Google
damn.
confirmed.
And he will escort you all along. He does take a brief moment of privacy where. Oh, go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I was gonna say when we're on the way back, I will have a quick discussion with him.
Okay. He waits till you guys are beyond the office car until you at least reach the military one, and he takes a moment where he's the only one in the office car. You imagine setting up some arcane protections, and as he exits and waves his hand over the door, he goes, "Well, I think that'll keep people out this time. We're a little careless. Thought not enough of what people might attempt. Like to see anyone try and get through that." All right. And as he is going through the car, the barracks there, As he's about 3 steps in, you go, "Look alive!" And all the soldiers just hop to attention as he's Xing. He laughs to himself. That never gets old. And you said you were gonna chat him up.
Yeah, just as we're heading back. It might be useful to actually post someone within that office, because having fought him before, he likes to teleport around a lot.
Oh, I've done one better. If he goes snooping in that desk again, he's going to get quite the surprise.
Impressive.
In fact, I'm counting on it.
We might be able to lure him into coming back
Go on.
to capture him. If one of us were to disguise ourselves as you, seeing as he left your ledger stashed here to presumably come back and pick up later, if it looks like you have left the train early to try to pursue him, knowing that quick teleportation magic doesn't go all that far, he might try to come back to grab it, thinking that you're gone.
Possibly, but that's a risk I can't have any of you taking.
Fair enough.
This train nearly lost a crew member because of someone who was seeking my possessions. Can't have that happening to anyone else.
I just want to get that motherfucker.
Feel the same way. I'm loath to suggest it, but I'm almost wanting to flex my authority to put the next attempt on my terms. I was able to get this train ahead of schedule to get home. There's nothing that says it has to make any of the next stops before getting back to the capital.
Fair enough. I mean, it may...
That would really inconvenience a lot of people, though, wouldn't it? Even more than I
Yeah,
already
it would
have.
make a lot of the passengers real mad.
Public perception is a thing they have to be aware of.
Yeah.
This conversation is happening in private.
No, I mean they're not too far ahead of you. You can hear much of this.
I'm gonna message to Garnet, and she's just gonna hear, wait, I think there's an opportunity. Is there a place we want to be dropped off specifically?
We wanted to catch the train back to the place that starts with
Virtue.
V. Yep, Virtue.
Yep.
And we were going to switch trains around the Hunter station.
You were actually, it was at the Tracker Station.
Tracker
The
station.
Tracker
yeah.
station.
Yeah, Hunter Station was the first one. You were going to switch just after the
Okay.
Tracker
And because
Station.
we're ahead of schedule, we should get there before the other train gets to the Tracker station.
Right.
So we want to get off at the Tracker station.
Okay.
Yeah, you could, or at this point, considering, depending on how you want to get back, you could even get off at the Hunter Station if
Okay.
you want.
So we haven't passed the Hunter station
Yeah.
yet then. Okay. So yeah,
So-
we probably just want to get off at one of the next
Just
two
get off
stations.
the next stop. Yeah.
I will then just kind of between shoving cookies into my face, and maybe I've even dumped the cookie into some tomato bisque just
It's
to see how
possible.
that goes.
It's possible.
I am, yeah, Mannix, if you've caught sight of Pohaku, it's, he's enjoying himself. But yeah, anyway, maybe he's even ordered 2 coffees just to see what that's all about.
He catches his eye and raises the glass of wine and tips his brow.
Yeah, and
I tip the cup of tomato bisque back towards you.
yeah, it's a Mannix. You will see Kira, Castian, Siobhan, and Pohaku all approaching the table. You and Lady Dewlight are at, and Lady Dewlight. Some individuals that I owe a great deal to. I wouldn't want to intrude on your table or your time, nor did I want you to think I was so rude as to not thank you for your conversation during part of this journey. But I'm going to, I guess, sit separately, and she'll... Nonsense. Taking a look at them... And she looks to both Pohaku and Siobhan. I don't mean to be rude. I assume... She goes, first time, first class?
Hello, lady.
Then let's make sure you do this right. And she's got this giant half moon shaped table. So join me, please. And she gestures at one of the servers walking about. Yes, well, we're not friends yet, but I'm sure we will be soon. Two wonderful folks joining. Whatever they wish, it's on me. No questions. Treat them as you would treat me. And you, Siobhan, you and Paku, you would each notice you got a couple interesting looks as you were walking in first class.
One of everything.
And as like Paku, you say that you watch as the server's eyes get huge, knowing the enormity what that would be, and the Lady Dewlight goes, for this one, chef's tasting menu of everything you would possibly recommend.
But I digress.
Of course.
Mannix actually leans over and whispers in her ear just loud enough for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
Make it 2 of everything. I know him.
And she will look to you, Siobhan, and of course, by all, I hope neither of you have had lunch so far. Everything they're serving is completely delightful. But bring the lady a menu and a wine menu.
I'll just eat what he doesn't.
You know what they say about us from the wood. We don't save room. We make room.
You're truly from the Whispering Wood? And she's leans in. Tell me everything. And she is now just fully in with Pohaku, because as is known by anyone who's traveled through the Whispering Wood, there are 3 rules. Don't get off the train, don't get off the train, and
we never talk about the Whispering Wood.
Don't get off the train. So she's gonna be hanging on your every word, Pohaku. So yeah, you are now gathered at the private table of Castian Oloro / Lady Dewlight here in the first class car.
So I digress. That was all. Was all a side piece to just in the overheard conversation with Kira. They're talking about we don't have to stop anywhere. Between bites of everything now, it's not just tomato bisque, and regaling Lady Dewlight. I'll just kind of look up. Oh, can we make sure that we stop at the Hunter station? I left food in the oven there. He doesn't say that, but could we stop there? That was my stop, and I would hate to miss that, please.
I mean,
Otherwise, you can go all the way to wherever this train is going. I don't know the area real well, but I was told not to miss that stop because I don't know the area real well. And so if I miss that stop, I might end up going farther, and then I'd have to find my way back. And because I don't know my way real well, it could take me a really long time, and that would be just difficult, and I might get lost.
Oh well, if you have an itinerary, I understand. I was going to invite you all to the capital, and not for completely selfless reasons. Well, this individual, shall we say, and Lady Dewlight, go on. This sounds classified. I want to hear more. It's like, yes, I'm trying to find out exactly what I can say. It seems like someone is looking for both me and all of you, and perhaps if we were together in the same place, we could work together. But again, if you have an itinerary, by no means am I going to foist my needs upon you. And as all this is happening, say Garnet, you're getting the psychic stuff from Pohaku. What's Reba doing? Like you've been patched up, and you've probably been given the day off at this point due to getting thoroughly stabbed a lot.
Stabbed.
Yeah. Jamie.
All right, before you go away
Yeah.
from us, because Siobhan's there.
Yeah.
Siobhan's deeply fucking uncomfortable.
Sure.
Deeply.
Mhm.
And at the mention, so I just wanted to say that
Yeah.
or Garnet's probably getting like the intel and excitement from Pohaku, and at the same time she's like, she's got Siobhan being like, get your boy to stand the fuck down. Is talking about taking us to the capital. Absolutely the fuck not. And yeah, so inwardly, if you see her, like it's like she looks uncomfortable. Like I don't know what to do here, and like why are there so many forks? But yeah, outwardly fairly placid, but inwardly she is like basically psychically screaming at not in the head explode way. Psychically freaking out at Garnet of like, he won't stop fucking talking. You have to get here.
I'll have an add-on as soon as we get back from Reba.
Sure. Yeah, I'll check on Reba. Yeah, Jalara, when they find their way to you, hey, I don't know how that happened to you. I'm just glad you're okay. Just look, Mira, take the rest of the trip off, okay? Just don't worry about anything. We've already talked to some folks. We'll take care of the rest of your duties. Just take care of yourself, and I'm so glad you're okay.
Thanks, Valar. I know you're understaffed. I'm real sorry. I was stupid. I didn't have to go after. I just hell of a first day. Does Garnet relay the Hunter Station stuff to Reba? Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason she wouldn't.
Great. If it's all right with you, oh God, you're so understaffed. I'm so sorry. I have family nearby. I would love to just take my leave there.
Well, we should be taking on some more staff when we hit the Hunter Station. It's more than acceptable. Like I've been talking with some folks on there. We've talked to a few people who are looking to pick up a couple extra shifts, especially since the train's going all the way to the capital. You get folks who wouldn't mind a free ride to Nova Aurora. So
great.
Oh, by all means, you go ahead and disembark there, and you've done enough. We should be arriving in a little more than an hour, maybe two, if our conductor decides to slow down a bit so people can take in some of the view. we'll be fine. We'll be there shortly. You go ahead and get off, and I'm sure we'll see you before we know it.
Thanks, Jalara. You've been wonderful.
My honest pleasure. Just you take care of yourself, Mira Siobhan.
You as well. Good luck with the union.
You're too damn right. Tell you what, that next contract, ooh, with after what happened to you, I'll tell you now, we'll be bargaining them right into the ground. If you don't think we're not going to get an increase in wages and benefits after this,
As
got
well
another thing
you
coming.
should. Glad to hear it.
As well, we should. Union strong, we're in it together.
Union
God.
strong. And that's what Zariba's doing. She's basically just playing it all shaken up till she can get off at 100.
Love it. So then coming back to the rest of you at this massive meal and just so many things being set in front of Pohaku. And yeah, it's a little bit of everything. And she, the Lady Dewlight has taken in just everything you've been saying about the Whispering Wood, and she is fascinated.
I'm mostly just telling her. I'm certainly not telling her any lies about the wood,
Sure.
but I'm mostly just telling her just about the wood as opposed to anything particularly salient. It's just, and then there's this place, and there's these trees that have these really, really nice branches, and the way that the roots grow up, and then I would just kind of, show her the way that the roots grow up around things.
Sure.
And then that's actually what inspired me. And I will not enter Blade Dance, but or Blade Song, but essentially I start going into Blade Song, and that's how I learned how to do this. And it's really helpful because, people don't expect people to move the way that trees move.
Very nice. Very nice. And she is just eyes very, very wide.
I had to practice a lot. My folks, they just had it able to come naturally to them. I had to study really hard.
And then, Jordan, you said Kira had something when we got back to all of you.
Yeah, he would at some point interjecting in the little bits of definitely classified information that probably shouldn't be said in front of someone, but it's fine. Because, I mean, seeing as we've been targeted is the right word multiple times, it might not be improper for my purview of protecting the Lord's soul into keeping all of us together as a group. That way I can do my best to keep all of us safe till we figure some of this out. And after handling some personal business with the champion, act as an escort back to the capital to give more of a report. So that way I can keep all of us safe while we figure this out.
Well, you've shown yourself more than capable in what little time you've been on the road with Lord Soul here. I have a hard time arguing against that. As much as I'd love to get you back home, I suppose it can wait for a bit. Hunter Station's a good place as any for you all to disembark. And in fact, not too far from Emberbreak or Hunter's Respite. Wherever you decide to find lodgings, well, I suppose that's on you. As much as I would love to accompany you further on this, I will have to stay on board and travel back to the capital. There are many conversations to be had.
Well, the
Not
good
all of
news
them
about
pleasant.
staying on the train is that you get to continue to eat all of this food.
I'm truly impressed by how much you've been able to consume. I've never quite seen an appetite like this before. It's
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm feeling it. It's worth it.
picture he looks like when a snake like swallows a pig, and you just see this like big.
Hey, I have exquisite table manners. There's just a lot of enthusiasm.
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 That's what
But he
it's
always
like.
chews with his mouth closed.
Yeah, not like unhinging your jaw. Skinny, poof, skinny.
Not that you've seen.
And all of you at this table, you also get the sense that both Castian and Lady Dewlight are getting a bit of enjoyment of watching so many of the wealthy folks here in first class doing everything they can to not show their utter fucking confusion by someone who looks like Pohaku with his giant championship belt and all that, sitting at this table, dining on the finest that there is to offer. And Siobhan, kind of looked like she just got off her shift at the factory. It basically looks like she's plopping down at the chef's table at the Met, where looks very out of place. And you do get the sense that both of them are taking some enjoyment in this. While they may be traveling first class, they don't mind making some of the wealthy folks a little confused or uncomfortable.
As there's time throughout the rest of the trip, Pohaku will, anybody who's staring at him will happily go up and just say hello.
Okay.
We don't need to role play out the whole thing,
No,
but he will
that's-
just gladly go up and introduce himself as one Pohaku Kahu, Esquire and Champion.
Most of the people you do this to have no idea how to receive this. They're trying to end the conversation as quickly as possible because they don't know how to handle you. You do meet one dwarvish gentleman who's very, everybody here has got money, but this guy's very clearly wealthy. He's got gold strands and as well as platinum braided into his beard. He just finds you a delight, and he does ask if you'll sit with him for a bit, and he's got a few folks there. They're basically Scotch. They're basically having a Scotch tasting for lack of a better term, and he wants your input because he say all of them they're gonna say the best one is whatever it costs or whatever is on the bottle. But you're not familiar with these. We're going to get a real answer out of this one, and I bet he's going to agree with me with everything because I know everything about liquor. Would you sit down and drink with us?
Yes, I will. Two things.
Hey,
I'm going to compliment him. So just me as the player. I will compliment him on all of the beating and braiding and the in the beard.
well,
And
thank
then
you.
secondly, I would love to do this, but I, as a player, can't stand Scotch. So I would like to delegate this responsibility to my friend Nathan, who knows much more about Scotch than I ever will.
So we're gonna have a Cyrano de Bergerac Scotch tasting. That's what we're gonna have here. I'm for it.
See, you can do that, or you can full on decide that Pohaku doesn't like it either and just see how that all shakes out. I leave that up to you.
You know what? Here's how we're gonna do this. Whatever you got in mind, and I will. So Pohaku will try them. He will look over to Mannix and just gauge his reaction as he is sampling these.
Okay.
Mannix is going to communicate directly telepathically to him, so he knows
Okay.
exactly what he should be saying.
So
With the one exception
Uh-huh.
is that it's not going to be Scotch that he tells him how to respond to. He's not telling him this. He's going to give him how he would respond to gin. So his responses are all going to be based on a normal person an accomplished gin drinker as opposed to a Scotch drinker, and he's going to be very.
So the way this all susses out, this dwarvish individual who asked you to sit down, like Pohaku, you are speaking.
I was not intending to roleplay this out, but I loved where this is going.
You're speaking of the level of just an absolute expert on gin, and you watch as most of the other puffed shirts at this table. Each time you taste one, Pohaku, and you're talking about all the flavor profiles you're getting, what the experiences, you watch as most of the puffed shirts they stare intently, and then they look and they go back to it like they're trying to find what it is you're saying. And as through these five tastings, as it's moving along, the one who had you sat down. Actually, let me. Amazing.
Juniper, what the fuck?
Amazing.
Depending on how far Mannix decides to push this, like Pohaku doesn't know anything about booze, but he is very good with plants.
Sure.
It's like if you start telling him to describe the juniper, he's like, wait a minute.
Go ahead and give me just give me either an intelligence or insight check here on this one, Pohaku, whichever one you want.
Intelligence or insight?
Yeah.
All right. That's a 21 intelligence.
Nice. So here are the things you pick up. You do pick up that by about the third one, you pick up that Mannix is fucking with you. However, you also pick up that, like I said, these are the three stuffed shirts. They don't know their ass in the hole in the ground. They're trying to find these things, and your benefactor, I guess we'll call him, who had you sit down, he thinks you're just making this up as you go along, and he thinks you're the one messing with them, and he is just delighted. You can see like tears are almost trying. He's just trying to fight back laughter at these folks just desperately searching for the juniper somewhere in this peaty Scotch. And what you hear is like, well, you know, like peaty, like a moss. That's a plant. Juniper. That's maybe is there a juniper moss? Juniper moss. You should look for that. I bet he's talking about
Hints of rose and cucumber.
Hints of zucchini and daisy.
Oh, aye, plenty of zucchinis. Zucchini Scotch. I bet that's what it is there.
How you doing there, Nathan? Are you okay role playing this? If we need to put in a safe word for you here, buddy, just call it out.
I'm so happy right now.
Safe word.
I mean, we all have our, and I don't know, describing Scotch as zucchini and daisy might be pushing my friend a little bit too far here.
No.
So
Safe word
okay.
is Talisker.
This has gone far better than I could have possibly imagined. Oh.
And it's
I was just trying to be friendly. I didn't know it was going to go here.
This is why I love Dungeons and Dragons. This is what happens. It's near the end of the last tasting where the puffed shirts, they kind of realize they've been messed with, and I have places to be. And just go storming off.
But we're on a train.
They walk off and
Bye.
my friend, that was the most fun I've had in a very long time. I thank you, and I don't know if we'll ever cross paths if we can, but if we do, you've always got a seat at my table.
Well, thank you, my friend. I'll tell you, before I take my leave, could you do one of the beads? That's and I just kind of point to my hair. If we could put one of those in, I think it'd go pretty well with the rest of my ensemble.
Hey, it'd be my pleasure. And he just full on right there, just does a real you are beyond impressed by how quickly he just braids it right on in. He clearly does his own braiding, which I don't know how many dwarves you've spent much time around, Pohaku, but if you know dwarves, that's not surprising that he knows exactly what to do about his own upkeep for his incredible beard. He says, he's
Well,
like,
thank
hey,
you for this experience.
Aye, of course. Where are my manners? Completely forgot to introduce myself. I was so excited about embarrassing all of them. Huldek Proudbeard. Have to live up to my name, don't I?
And Pohaku is just mouth is open, close, just like Proudbeard. And with Sabia, it's kismet, I believe, is the word. That's the most amazing Proudbeard I've ever seen. I will now refer to myself as well as Pohaku Kahu, Champion Esquire Proudhair.
Aye. Delightful. Well, if you ever find yourself east there over near the foot of Stone Spire, you can find my family manor in the city of Titan Bluff.
Sorry.
I've heard there are some incredible sausages that come from that area.
You are not incorrect there.
Some of the muckiest puddles.
Oh, so we're about to lose another Phoenix character.
Shit.
Is
Not
there
yet.
a possibility of retiring in?
Only one.
I've had a great run here, and your beard is just, there's something about it. I just feel like, I was supposed to go with a person of the earth, and I think I might have had it wrong with Garnet.
This is what happens. Phoenix talks to a bunch of my NPCs, and all of a sudden his characters have to retire. Weird.
It's just
Happened once.
dwarves.
Happened once.
The thing is, it was just so amazing and iconic that none of us will ever forget it. It's such a great
It's
moment.
just- This man just gets adopted by dwarves.
Oh my god.
The tallest one in our group. It's Doug.
No, he's not.
I have a type.
Who's taller?
You, I think, are the tallest.
Yeah, Reba's the
No,
tallest
I
character.
mean in real life.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we realize yes.
yes. No, of all the characters, Reba's the tallest.
Hell yeah.
Statuesque specimen that she is.
Yeah, I think Pohaku's only like 5'4" or something. He's not particularly tall.
He's just kind of almost built like a cube, just muscular and short.
He's like a square, that guy.
Yep.
Square.
Square with limbs. So
Well, I got far more out of that whole interaction.
That was wonderful.
I was,
Ah.
I was just trying to be friendly.
Reba, as you've changed out of your staff clothes and you're just kind of wearing your just regular clothes, I imagine hanging about in the regular passenger cabin, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okey-dokey. Where did? Let's see. Just one thing beyond. Perception check.
Yeah.
And then I still don't have my shield, so I probably don't get.
At this point, no, you would have it. You would have it back now.
Did I have it back?
Yeah, because you're not working right now, and the idea that you would have it on you, like you're probably not wearing it in a mighty defensive position, but you would have it on your back.
All right. Well, then that is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So you're taking a little bit of a load off, relaxing a bit, and you thought your eyes were playing a trick on you at first. You got hurt pretty bad not very long ago, and you're still wounded, but unquestionably, you notice someone. They're looking at you like they don't seem to be. It's not like an awkward stare, but they seem to they keep glancing in your direction. You see this elven woman, just as far as her attire, looks very much like some sort of like basically like one of us seeing like a nun out in the wild, like very much like religious robes she's wearing. Seems that would be more suited in a temple than on a train, but she seems to be throwing a few glances your way.
Can I pinpoint what sort of deity she might be following?
Oh, without question. Like this, you see what she's wearing. You clock right away. She's got to be imperial, as you see many symbols of Balder on these robes, and that being the required worship with it by citizens of the empire.
Okay. Are we technically in the empire yet? Is it illegal deities yet?
You briefly cut out there. You are within the empire here. You're asking if it's illegal to witch now?
Well, because you can get. Well, I guess as long as you're not a citizen. I'm just wondering how much trouble people who don't worship Balder would be if they're traveling on a train.
None.
None.
In fact, if you don't worship and tithe, it's not that you end up in trouble per se. It's just you're not a citizen, thus you have no rights, thus you can't get work, and therefore it snowballs into making it very difficult to survive. But I mean, folks from either the Asharan Vale or Stone Spire or from the Vagabond Assemblage or the rare travelers coming up from the southern nation of Aethiel, who are almost all very devoted to Odin, traveling through, like whatever, like what you do on your time is your business. And if you're not imperial, they have no jurisdiction.
Great. In that case, when I see that she's clocking me, and then I see very much a devout Balder follower, I'm just gonna start fiddling, obviously, with my holy symbol of hell. Just like I'm not approaching her or anything. I'm just fidgeting with an obvious symbol of hell.
Mhm.
I guess sort of trying to be intimidating that way. A Balder follower's biggest fan.
Yeah. We'll call it an intimidation check. I just want to see how this is received.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Like, so you produce your holy symbol and you just kind of fidget with it a bit, and you make sure to turn it over in her direction a couple times where the symbol is very clear, and she kind of glances at you, and as she's glancing back up at you, you turn your head directly towards her, making eye contact, and slowly run your finger back along the symbol, and you watch as her jaw kind of drops a bit, and she kind of averts her gaze, and kind of the hood drops in front of her eyes.
Cool. That's all I need to do.
Anything else for Garnet or anyone else at the smorgasbord?
Garnet would try to find Reba at some point and just make sure she's really laid eyes on her and thank her for protecting her and going down for her. Because Garnet's never really run with like a crew, and
Sure.
I think Reba's kind of showing her what it would be like to have backup, and Garnet doesn't want that to happen to her backup all the time. But also, like, just thank you for taking care of me.
Yeah, it's what a team does. We have each other's back. Of course. You can always count on that. I'm glad that you got it out. Oh, that was some slick moves right there. I think that worked out just fine.
I'm glad you think so.
And like for Reba, it's very clear that that's just absolutely not even a second thought. That is because Reba's always run with a pack. There is no that it goes without saying. She's almost like surprised that Garnet is surprised.
I can learn. Usually I'm just getting everyone else in trouble. So, I'll try not to do that to you.
Oh, nah, bring it on. That's what I'm here for. You gotta be on this train if I wasn't looking for trouble. I've always looked for trouble. I'm glad you can help me find it.
Well, if trouble's what you like, stick with me.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Not long later, the train will arrive at the Hunter Station. All of you being able to disembark. The Lady Dewlight thanking Mannix and Pohaku in particular for their conversation. Astian thanking all of you who are at his table, and then turning to Kira, you make sure you get back to your aunt's tavern before your birthday. You know she's going to be pissed if you miss that.
I'll do my best.
And now that she'll
Yeah,
know
she'd
that
never
I've
let me live it down.
No, and now that she's known that I've seen you recently, she won't let me live it down either. So, don't do that to me.
Well, I do have to bring, while keeping all of us safe, I will have to bring us to make a more proper report. So hopefully we can time that all together.
Look forward to it. Make sure you look me up when you're back home. I would like to treat you, Lord Soul, and any of your compatriots who wish to join to a meal on me. While I know Lord Soul is well known throughout the Empire, there are a few places you can get one hell of a meal he wouldn't know about, because, let's just say, they aren't high-end, but they are delicious. I know that man loves his food, if that's not the truth, Mr. Soul. Well, good day, all of you. Travel good.
So real quick before I head off the train, Lady Dewlight making a point of saying goodbye and thanking Mannix and myself. I will just pick her up in a big bear hug and spin her around once. Thank you for your courtesy, and that was so much food. I might explode, but it will have been worth it, and I believe it was your generosity that allowed me to have a sample of all of those delicious foods. So I would just like to give this to you as a thank you of our little time together. And I am going to give her my the original dagger that I had, the sharpened tusk from the wood, since I now have the petrified one from the cave. And if there's anything that Pohaku Kahu, Champion Esquire Proudhair, can do for you, please don't hesitate to let me know how I can be of assistance.
You are a doll and a delight, and I absolutely will do so. Thank you. I know exactly the place to display this at home. Truly
It is
wonderful.
sharp.
I will be quite careful.
Glad to hear it. Bye.
And Garnet, Reba, as you have caught up to your allies, and all gather there on the train station. You guys will all hear this voice. Wait, Siobhan! Siobhan! You can hear this high-pitched halfling voice. Hey, Siobhan! Siobhan!
I
And
turn around.
Siobhan! Mira Siobhan!
Hi.
Mira!
Hi.
And they get going to you, Reba. Thought you didn't. Thought you could hear me at all there. It's Jalara going. Just wanted to say, thank you so much for everything you did for us. I talked to the staff. Got a little something for you, and she extends a small pouch towards you. We pooled a bit of money together to make sure you can get yourself a nice, comfortable place to stay if you're staying here for a bit, or if not.
I'd already told you, I've got family nearby. I could not take this.
Buy yourself something nice.
Dare, Jalara, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You distribute this to the workers.
Well, they're the ones who chipped in. They insisted we give it to you.
Reverse it again.
Garnet pokes her in the side. This is a nice thing. Just say thank you and accept it.
Oh.
Yes, Siobhan. Say thank you.
Thank you, Jalara.
You're most welcome. When you look through it, you'll find it is a bag containing 17 gold pieces.
You are too kind. Thank you.
You put yourself on the line for some of our passengers. Something you didn't have to do, but it's quite admirable.
I tend to act without thinking. It's not admirable, it's just dumb most of the time, but I appreciate the positive outlook.
Is that what he appreciates about me?
You realize Jalara was-
I wish you a good day. And Jalara will head on back towards the train as they need to get back to work as it's soon to depart.
Safe travels.
A signal for all aboard is given, and Castian, looks to you, Kira. You're doing a damn fine job. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
Very welcome. And the rest of you, you're the ones that I saw are actually quite impressive. And from what I've been told, those I didn't. Well, it sounds like Kira can learn a thing or two from you all. Friends of Kira's are friends of mine, of course, as I said. Should you accompany him to the capital, you will be guests of mine as far as I'm concerned. Travel safe. Don't let him, and he points to Mannix, cause too much trouble.
Kira mostly keeps us out of trouble. It's okay, Castian. And we'll all keep an eye on Mannix.
That I believe. Lord Soul, I will be sure to give updates to your household as to what I most recently saw, and if Funk returns to town before you do, I will let him know of this exemplary but brief trip we took upon the rail.
Oh. Many times in our youth, we had to bring in the noise, and then we had to bring in that little rascal. So,
Understandable. Well, travel safe, you all. I have much to do. Farewell. And Castian will head onto the train. And as that train pulls out of the station, you can see the schedule nearby. It's not long until a train will be arriving that will head back to Virtue. Should arrive within the hour. Now, none of you currently have tickets for it.
I want to say that
we
it's
could probably just buy tickets.
Can you just go buy a ticket? Yeah.
I just want to make sure I put that out there before you're like, we get on the train. I'm like, do you now?
oh,
What were you gonna say, Jamie?
Hey, look, Mannix might actually just. You ain't gotta buy a ticket.
As opposed to buying the whole train, Mannix.
Seems easier that way.
Wait, is that a thing that you can do?
You can't?
Well, that's the thing Mannix can do. Siobhan, what did you have?
As soon as the train is like out of sight, she just, if there's a chair or a bench or something, she just sags into it almost like a marionette whose strings have been cut. And bends forward and puts her head between her knees because she's like, "Hey, so I've been having a panic attack almost nonstop for how long has it been since we were in Castian's company?"
It's been about. If you're just waiting for the train to get out of sight, see, looking here, train only takes about.
No,
Okay.
I mean, misunderstanding. How long were we with him on the train?
Oh, you were probably in his company for hour and a half.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, she's yeah, she collapses, head between the knees, is trying to calm the fuck down.
I saved some tomato bisque uh, if you're
damn.
not feeling well.
Oh yeah, she ate almost nothing. It just was kind of, fortunately, most of the focus was on Pahaku because yeah, Siobhan was just trying very, very hard to be invisible and feeling all these people staring at her and being like seated with a member of the census. This is almost the worst case scenario of what can be happening to her.
It's funny the flip flop that happened between when we were in coach versus first class, as Pohaku was like not moving at all in coach.
Siobhan, do you like tea?
Yes, I like tea very much.
Okay. Garnet will go into wherever you buy tickets and hopefully there's refreshments and she'll buy the tickets for the group and a cup of tea for Siobhan.
So it's going to cost. See, there's 6 of you, so it's going to cost you 6 gold total for the tickets, and then as far as a cup of tea, yeah, for just 1 silver, you can get a cup of hot herbal tea.
Drink this; it might help. Also, our psychic connection is probably gone now. It was for 3 hours.
Yeah, so it can actually be gone at this point.
But do wait a moment to take a sip until after I apologize. Because I feel like if you take a sip during my apology, you might spit it out.
I'm blowing on it.
Because I am sorry for, basically making sure that we have to go to the capital. But it was the best way I could think of to have no suspicion for Mannix and I getting off on this stop with you.
We're going to the capital? That's amazing.
Wait, I thought we weren't going to the capital. We're going to the
Well, not right
capital
now. Later.
We will eventually need to, but I was able to get it on our timetable.
We
Yeah, your birthday party, right?
don't have to do anything.
Yeah, that sounds like a you problem.
I mean, if you want to make it just a me problem, then yes, I guess you could.
It seems like it would
But
cause you
look.
more problems if we were there.
Not exactly, because with that asshole that's attacked us twice and almost killed you, Castian mentioned that he and his apprehension is of importance to the Empire, and so if we can use the resources at my disposal to keep all of us safe, we should.
Oh,
Because the Empire thinks the Empire thinks that he is specifically targeting us.
Well, he has.
And if we can use the entire might of the Empire to stop it, I know how much you hate the Empire.
Oh, it's a lot.
But a tool's a tool, and a weapon's a weapon.
Oh,
And
I
it'll
think we
keep
all
you
agree about
safe.
tools.
One.
Oh no, just don't start. Don't start. I've got a bloody headache. Can we? I'm sorry. Can we table this for right now? I'm about. Like I said, damn near in a panic attack. I'm just trying to enjoy my tea. Can we please talk about this later?
It's not going to be easier, but okay.
Yes, it will, because then I will, be able to breathe. I think she's like still hunched over, like just wait. And I'm just gonna enjoy me feckin' tea, and then we can talk about horrible things later.
That's fair.
I look back and forth between Kira and Siobhan. I just look over to Garnet. I go where she goes. I have no, what is the expression? No horse in this swim meet.
No,
this
it's
case,
there's
it's
you have no pig in this chase.
Right. I would have won that,
Absolutely.
Could've.
Is that the episode title? No pig in this space.
It might be. It might be.
I mean, on the subject of us targeted by that app, I wonder if it would be worthwhile to make yet another copy of that dossier now that we have it, so that multiple people in the group can carry it just in case it comes out.
Oh, right.
We did
Who
what?
knows we have it?
We need to protect that better. That's a really good.
Platform.
That's a really good.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
someone could do a locate object before I see do the
I don't suppose any of you have like one of those boxes that comes in with the lead lid and all of that.
Like the one I
No,
made
but we
before.
have the hole.
Oh, that'll work too. And wait a minute, what were you saying, Siobhan?
Oh, like you said, the box with the lead lid. So it's like the one I made before for the evil sword.
yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
still have that, do we?
No,
No. Okay.
holding the evil sword.
But yeah, just like that. But what do we have, Kira?
Was it this game where we have the portable hole? Or some other extra dimensional space?
Do we have a bag of holding?
You guys have some sort of extra dimensional space.
Yeah, because I remember that's what we put the sword in.
I believe you have a portable hull. You'll have to check y'all's inventories.
Yeah.
But I believe I gave you a portable hull.
I don't have it.
I don't believe I have that.
I remember us having something because it's what we put the sword into.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Because it was such a problem for me to carry
I
it.
have the bag of holding.
Okay, so it's a bag. It's a bag of holding.
I have a bag of holding.
I don't know.
I can remember. All I know is that I gave you guys some sort of extra dimensional space because as a DM, it's so much more convenient for your players to have one.
Mhm.
I open it up. I
But-
close it back up.
So you have. So we were successful.
Oh, here's your calligraphy stuff. Thanks. And
Oh.
this other pen actually worked a little bit better, but I really appreciate the
Oh,
calligraphy
the one that we made when we were figuring out that we should make
Yeah,
the fort. Yeah.
yeah.
So, but we did it.
Oh, did you not know?
No, nobody told me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, we totally, dude. Castian.
It's a really good thing you didn't have to lie to
Goddamn
Castian.
Huge. We got the real thing.
But Kira, it's so sweet. He wrote in his journal how much you're becoming like your father, and he feels real bad about how your father died, and he wish he could have done more. And it's just, and can I get the thing back again? And she'll try to pull it out and like whip to the page that had the notes, and she like put little hearts when she was copying on it to show to Kira. I wanted to make sure you saw that. He's really proud of you.
You found a couple eyes that weren't dotted there, Garnet, so you made sure to dot them with hearts.
So what he's saying isn't just posturing.
No, he wrote it in his official journal.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Kira, do
Okay.
you need a cup
So-
of tea too? I can go get another one.
I'm fine.
Okay. Do you want a
Here,
hug?
put it back in the bag too.
I put it back in the bag.
Okay. So we were successful. We did the thing. So now it should be a nice leisurely train ride back to Virtue.
Totally.
And just so you know, Garnet, whoever else wants to keep track of it, for that item you got that allows you to copy so quickly, it's called the Xerox Quill. And it's got one charge. Charge resets each dawn. And when you use the charge in this, you can copy words down at 20 times the normal speed. So
I also
Cedar,
returned
have one of
the
those?
silence powder to
Oh.
Ohaku.
I gave you 2 charges of that. Yeah.
Yep.
Jamie, what'd you ask?
Oh, I said I think Rita Skeeter had one of those quills.
Huh. You're not wrong. So, a little time passes. The platform begins to bustle a bit as it's about time for the train to arrive, and you are able to board. And unless you guys have any conversation specifically you want to have as you're heading back to Virtue, we can skip the train ride as you get there.
Oh no, I definitely have something.
Lovely.
So it takes a while for. I don't think Siobhan fully calms down until they leave the Empire, honestly. And but does at some point go to Garnet and say, now that we have more time, I think we should take a better look at those books or the ledger because, well, it was so important that it needed to be guarded by however many alarm and lock and I don't know, lots of magic, and 2 different groups were trying to steal it. There has to be something important in there because, well, why go through all the trouble?
It's a good question. Maybe Kira would better understand because he's of the census.
I'm not quite sure I understand what his play is here because he's acting against someone he seems to care very deeply for. And so,
We don't necessarily know that Castian's a good guy or a bad guy in this situation, though. He was just the one with the information.
right, that's true. Okay, yes, then that does make more sense. So,
I mean, he shouldn't be alone with it, but
oh,
we should all look at it together. But Kira probably knows the best.
yeah, and we probably shouldn't just have it out,
Probably not.
so-
Maybe once we get to Virtue with Marshall Bicker and
Mhm.
the safe space.
Yes, we'll reassemble the fort.
I still have the disco ball.
Right,
You just stumbled the fort. That's awesome.
it's safer in the fort. That's just science. All right. So
Siobhan, I'm sorry I sent you to first class. I was hoping you'd enjoy it.
I did
And
not-
also, you would have been alone because Pohako definitely was going to go.
I don't blame you. It worked out how it worked out, and fortunately, I'm pretty good at having people not pay attention. So I just sat there and quietly panicked.
I
So
heard.
many forks. There were so many forks. And they don't understand. Like, why do you need 5? And they looked like just little shoot, doop, doop. They kept getting smaller. What could you do with all of them?
Well, how many courses did you eat? Wasn't it like a fork per course?
It wasn't courses. They just kind of kept bringing food because Haku ordered one of everything,
Ah, I'm proud of him.
and I, took some of a bunch of them, so it looked like I was eating something. And yeah,
Did you taste any of it?
yes, I took a few bites here and there, but my stomach was in my throat, so couldn't do much by way of eating.
How did it taste on your tongue before it got to your stomach that was all twisty?
I don't know. I tell you, I was in a blind panic the entire time,
We're gonna have to get you in first class again so you can try again.
doing fucking breathing exercises so my eyes didn't start glowing, just trying to. I literally had nightmares about this sort of thing when I'm just in a room full of people from the Empire just staring at me, and I had to try to be calm. Well, I guess no way
I'm
out.
sorry, I keep forgetting that that's how hard that must be for you.
Thank you. Oh. So Kim seems sensitive about it, and not that I'm trying to gossip behind the boys' back, but I was having a panic, so I don't think I understood when we were told why do we have to go to the Empire in a month's time? I know it's his birthday,
Well,
he wants to go, but I don't understand why it's bad for him if Reba and I don't.
because we're a team now, and the team sticks together.
Um,
Reba taught me that.
this is alcohol that Siobhan has. That's okay. That's all I had.
Anyone else? About 3/4 of the way through the journey, a familiar face will saunter up to all of you. Well, not familiar to all of you, familiar to those of you who were in riding coach, as this black fur, very elaborate hand-stitched clothing tabaxi comes up. Didn't expect to see you all so soon.
I say, so, I introduce him to the others.
Pleasure.
No, we didn't expect to be on this train ourselves, but the best laid plans, as they say.
I didn't expect to be on it either. Turns out when you start a fist fight on a train, they ask you to leave at the next stop. And by ask you, I mean there are large individuals who might throw you off the train. Fascinating.
Really sorry to hear that. Are you all right?
Was it worth it? Did I help?
Yeah, you absolutely did. May I shake your hand? And she'll slip him 2 of the platinum that she's got.
I love doing business.
I couldn't help but hear through the car. Did you ever work things out with Trevor?
You know, it turns out, funny thing, case of mistaken identity. I had the wrong person altogether. And
Happens to
then,
the best of us.
when I was trying to make amends, I realized I don't even know a Trevor. So,
It's funny where life leads us.
it really is. Just these strange moments.
That is very strange.
Sounds like you
If
all...
you'll excuse me, I'm going to use the restroom.
Oh,
Pardon.
yes. Is he going to be okay? I'm sure he will.
He ate a lot.
Well, I
has number 2 worked for?
Oh, that just happened.
No.
Oh goodness. Pohaku, make a Constitution saving.
Oh no.
That's a natural 20. For a 26.
There's just this belch that's heard all throughout the train. Basically, like you feel a lot better, Pohaku. You feel you're gonna have a little indigestion, little heartburn, but worth it. There's
Oh, you guys all just hear, I feel so much better.
and Swift will say, well, looking forward to the next piece of work. Maybe, who knows? Maybe our paths will cross again, and he will kind of wrap his knuckles just kind of as he's talking, and I believe 2 of you understand Thieves' Cant.
I do now.
And
Yep.
it's basically a simple code of, do you understand me? Just very simple. To anybody else, just sounds like someone drumming their fingers, but just the timing of it, it's similar to like a Morse code of just checking to see if anybody understands. There's a very standard like knockback. Do either of you reply with it?
Reba
Darn it,
is
well.
so excited to be able to reply because she just learned this.
So, and he gives a look both to Garnet and Reba before he gets up. I'm sure I'll be seeing you around. He will depart. Not long after that, the train arrives back in Virtue. It's now getting into the evening, and you have returned nicely ahead of original schedule. It was known this was closer to the schedule for what was planned for Bicker. Still a bit ahead since you got off a good stop earlier. While we didn't go over this, he would have told you where to find him. He would let you know he's going to be staying at an inn called the Worthy Repose. But you arrived in the city of Virtue. It's quite a large city, not the largest within the Asharan Vale, but definitely larger than any city within the Vagabond Assemblage. Not. It's not a ton bigger than, say, the most northern city of Port Pride, which is pretty big despite not being the capital. But this is quite the city. Even Kira and Mannix, being from the largest city in the continent, Virtue's still pretty good size. Like this no longer feels like, oh, we're in small town wonder. Like, no, this is real city amenities can be found here.
I wonder, Bjorn,
Yes.
would Kira have ever been told about his connection to Virtue?
Probably not.
Okay. Cool.
Though, as opposed to, as I was saying, in terms of people who do have connections here, one person who would be told, Siobhan, you would know, this is where Calm essentially adopted you as an infant. This is where that hunter that had you they ended up being same place, same time, and he was the one. And this is where Colm offered to take you home.
Do I know where that happened?
I'm sorry. Do you know? It should be like when or where?
I know when. Do I know where? Pub.
Yeah,
bar,
it happened at a very lively tavern. Happened at what happens when you have far too many tabs open. That would have happened at the Hollow Bone.
And that's what is it? Tavern.
Yep.
Cool.
It is a very Colm would have probably. I imagine you probably had some questions like growing up about the where and how. Colm probably told you like it was this tavern is called the Hollow Bone. It is a very large, almost like Viking style beer hall where because of the number of hunters and trackers and whatnot that come through there, the name comes from almost all the drinkware is made out of hollowed out bones, and it's just these long communal style tables where people drink. It's you don't go drink there unless you're ready to be possibly shoulder to shoulder with complete strangers. It's just how it is, and people from all walks of life go there knowing this. But even people with large amounts of money understand you might be next to somebody who's dirt poor, and if you've got a problem with that, this is not a place you should drink because there are no private booths. That's not how they do things. Yeah, you would be very aware of that, Siobhan.
So it's getting late though. You said.
It's starting to it's not the small hours or anything. There's nightlife going on, but it's gotten dark.
Right. Should we make our way to the Worthy Repose?
That's a good idea.
Should we figure out where the feck the Worthy Repose is?
That's an even better idea.
I look for a
Juan,
sign.
you're on a roll.
It doesn't take long for you to find out where it is. The amount of time it takes is simply just to ask somebody at the train platform, hey, how do we find the Worthy Repose? And they give some basic directions for how to get there. And it's as you're walking up, you see it's quite a nice establishment. There are these worked stone columns on either side of these very ornate wooden double doors with these brass handles that at the top and bottom have very just detailed work done in them. Mannix, you breathe a sigh of relief upon seeing it. We're going like, okay, this is the place I can stay. I'll be all right. And going in,
Dabs his forehead with a silk handkerchief.
And as you open the double doors, immediately just this gentle perfumed smell hits your nostrils. It just kind of smells gently of lavender and rose water as you walk in. There's a small fountain here in the main lobby area, and this very lithe, sort of mostly greenish haired Firbolg will greet you. Good evening. Welcome to the Repose. If you're quite the assortment. I do believe you're meeting someone here, yes?
Yes.
Marshal from the assemblage. You
Yes, I am.
mentioned wonderful. I was going to be shocked if two sets of individuals, as he described, came in, but glad to know they are you. Well, the marshal has requested a private dining chamber for you all. If you'd like to go wait for him, I will have him rung, and we'll go about getting accommodations for you all as is needed. We have plenty of rooms available. The right this way, and she'll begin to lead you towards a hallway.
Oh, good, Pohaku, more food.
And you are led to this very, very nice private dining room, a long rectangular table in it. Siobhan, you can tell quickly, even though smithing is your trade, you know good craftsmanship when you see it. This is well made. Everything here is very lovely and well made, and some paintings adorn the walls here. A decanter of wine and a couple pitchers of water are brought and laid on the table. And but I'm sure he'll be with you shortly. And sure enough, only a few moments pass before the, I assume at this point, very welcome sight of Marshall Bicker strides in. Well, I'm glad to see y'all made it back in one piece. And how'd it go?
We didn't get to jump from train to train. That was a bummer.
Oh, well, I'm sure I can arrange something where you get the opportunity to do that at some point. There's all kinds of work that'll come through. I'm more than happy to keep an eye out on that for in the particular, if you'd like.
I'd appreciate that. The others
Sure.
might not though. So maybe if you just have a solo mission.
Well, if not that, we can potentially look at something that leads into each of your greatest strengths. Now, don't mean
Ohaku kind of elbows Garnet slightly as she says solo mission.
It's okay, Pohaku. He just said, or something that uses all of our strengths so we don't all have to do the same thing.
Fine, but
We'll stick together. Like I told Siobhan earlier, and that I learned from Reba, we're a team. We all have to go together as a team. Marshall Bicker, it was a very successful mission. By the way, I did have to pay Swiftfoot a couple of platinum. So I don't know how that fits in the expenses reimbursement, but I just wanted you to know that was something that came up.
Oh no, I'll be happy to reimburse you. No, not a problem whatsoever. Now, you said it was successful, so you were able to put eyes on the documents then.
Eyes, absolutely, yes, we were.
What did we find out?
Many things. One, Cassian is really proud of Kira, and there's a lot of feels there, and even some literal hearts.
This does not surprise me.
One thing that I did find interesting, there were a whole bunch of things. I took some notes. She says without pulling out anything that she wrote down.
Right.
But she, there was something about how this upright business is public again. My quotes, not Castian's, and to ask the Hallow Keeper about it. There wasn't a lot of context around it, but that seemed interesting. Like this wasn't the first time.
Wait, and Siobhan turns to Kira. Am I wrong? I thought Castian said he'd never heard of the Upright when you told him about them.
That is correct. When it was brought up to him before, he suggested he had never heard of them.
That is what he said.
I mean, perhaps it's meaning no offense, but perhaps it's above your pay grade.
Probably. I mean, I know I haven't been around all that long, but this is also the first I'm hearing of the Upright, since we discovered them. So if it's
Not
happened
real.
before, it's probably one of those things that is a big, big hush hush.
Can I
To
get a
where-
hit?
Yeah.
So, can I get a history check from specifically Kira and Mannix?
History. What do I know? Probably not a lot, because I'm a kid. That is a whole 10.
10.
That's
Would you-
that's me. That's +1 to me. So I got a 9.
Fine.
Okay. Cool.
I don't have time to pay attention in history class. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry, Reba. You should also roll this because you grew up in the Empire. Almost forgot that. There's every chance it won't matter, but this is something Imperial people would know, possibly.
And this is a history check.
Yeah,
9.
9. Cool.
Great.
All good students.
Love it. Now that's a little thing we don't have to worry about.
Paying attention in history class. If it's something that would undermine part of the Empire, do you think they would teach us it in class?
No.
Thanks for
It's-
sitting on point.
That's real interesting, though, that he'd suggest he ain't heard about it before, and then that there says he does. Especially if he seemed to deny knowing about it to Kira, and then has all these private statements and thoughts about just how highly he thinks of him. Something about all this ain't sitting right with me.
So
Can't put my finger on it, but there's something I don't like.
and Garnet will kind of look around to the party and be like, well, I did more than just take a few notes. Pohaku, can I see your bag for a minute?
Why?
I need a thing out of it. I want to
Okay.
I want to show the marshal my notes. And she'll pull out the copy. I did a real thorough job, but it was real fast, so I don't know if I actually figured out the important parts. I thought maybe like we could all look at it together and when we had a little bit more time and privacy.
Did I understand? I thought we had the original.
Yeah, you stole the original page. No, she's pulling out the
Yeah.
notes she wrote. She's leaving the
Okay.
dossier in that's
Right.
Garnet's still keeping the cards close to the chest
Okay,
because
my bad.
We hadn't talked it about as a party if we were really turning this over, so I wanted to make sure first.
that's rogue.
That's rogue.
So yeah, in looking through the notes there, he seems a bit hung up on the thing that had been pointed out, that he seemed to deny the existence of this to Kira, but is now saying this is not the first time that these individuals have come about. Now, how do you? So tell me how some of all this went down. Like, do you give them the full rundown of everything that happened on the train with the Dusk Elf and all that, or do you keep that part to yourself?
I would absolutely tell him. This
Okay.
is the second time on things that he has asked of us that this guy has come after us.
Now,
On the bright side, I did get some really good food out of it, but
Uh,
I'm
that's good.
still pretty full.
it's good. Did you try that tomato bisque?
You weren't wrong about the tomato bisque.
It is the best I have had. I love that. Now,
Don't ask Mannix for suggestions on scotch. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I mean, not everyone does. It's fine. Ain't nothing to be ashamed of. It sits a little strange with me that why isn't there being more of a search by them for this Dusk Elf who seems to have a real hate on for all y'all? Or shit, maybe there is, and they were just real good and quiet and hush hush about it.
Well, it could be, since this has mention of them and what they've been doing, and because we actually survived an encounter 2 now, stealing this could have been an attempt to, or trying to steal this could have been an attempt to just scrub any notes of their mention.
Yeah. My real wonder is, who are they trying to steal it for? I mean, possibly themselves, but there's got to be some sort of pecking order with this upright.
Marshall, it didn't seem like anything in here was all that earth shattering. I mean, yes, Castian's deception of not hearing about the upright before, but is there another piece of information that you would have expected to be in here that was more of a smoking gun?
Yeah, but I don't know what. That's also what's sitting uneasy with me. It seems a little too clean. Like, you're talking about a group that's known for being the keepers of order from the Empire. Ones that are, well, ones that sometimes have to or choose to, depending on how you want to look at things. And I ain't going to get into the ins and outs of that. But they get the dirty work done. When there's a kill order given, if they are given it, that's what they do. And it just seems a little too squeaky clean for me. Now, I am on record of not being the biggest fan of Mr. Aloro there, but you don't rank that high in that organization without having some blood on your hands. Hell, you don't have the job I have without having some blood on your hands. But I can tell you right now, folks, look through my private journal. Let me find a few more descriptors of things that went down than this. No. This has me uneasy.
I'm going to create a mind link to Garnet and say, why are you hiding the book from him? Not judgmental. I think I might come across judgmental, just very much like, what's the play here?
She'll just think that caution. Would you share it?
I would, yes, but I don't have it.
Oaxaca, can I see your bag again? Because there's something else the marshal should see. And she'll pull out the real dossier and be like, don't be mad at me. I just, I wanted to be cautious.
I'm not mad. I'm impressed. You absconded with. Now, you wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That duplicate y'all said you were gonna make up. You pulled that move off. You pulled the old switcheroo.
Uh-huh.
Son of a bitch, y'all are good. Well, and he spent some time looking through it with you. And again, there's nothing
Sorry,
else.
as soon as he pulls it out and is holding on to it, I'm going to cast suggestion on him.
Mhm.
If you're about to betray us, I suggest you tell us about it right now.
What's the save on that?
This is my. It's just an 11 wisdom because this is not one of my normal spells.
And then the thing do you know if the spell succeeds?
Let me find out. Where is it? Suggestion.
Well, if it would say one way or another.
Yeah, I'm just.
Some do.
Okay. I mean, what was it? That's a
I don't
that's
think
a
it's.
15.
Yeah, it doesn't specify one way or the other.
All right. Let's see. That's 15. No,
Yeah, so he passes.
that's quite fascinating to have. And he spent some time looking through it with you. And again, the biggest thing that really stands out is, again, the mentioning of it happening again, the Hollow Keeper mention, where he's, now I wonder who or what that is. That is something to wonder. Not heard that name or title. That I do not know.
Reba, could you? I don't look at this with that your sense magic's fanciness and see if there's. And I don't know if Garnet would know this. I assume she would. Roguiness, know about like magic inks and or like
Yeah, you would know that they exist.
Would they show up with magic, or are they some other sort of something special?
I would say detect magic would allow you to see if there was some sort of magical ink. It's not necessarily going to show you exactly what it says, depending on what.
Sure, but just its existence to know if
Yes.
we need
See
to
that there's magic
investigate
on
further.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Garnet would suggest that somebody with that ability does that.
And you're muted there. There you go.
I can take care of that. Oh,
Reba ritually casts magic.
Okay.
By ritual.
And
no
so you. In casting it, you're just kind of flipping through the pages here, and you do come across a page where a section of it is there is a slight illusory, like illusion magic coming off of a section of a page.
I pointed out. I say there's illusion magic page specifically right here, right around there.
Right around this spot.
I mean, it's illusion, so it's hiding something. I could try to dispel it in case something's written there. Well, I guess.
The worry with dispelling it is
will it go away?
if it's a spell that changes the text
Yeah.
rather than hides it, then it would just make it all go away.
Yeah.
So we want some kind of something that'll let us see through it.
Huh.
Which I do not have the magic for that.
I can take a few minutes here and tell you specifically what spells are affecting it.
That would be great.
So I will sit down with it and ritual cast Identify.
Okay. And
Learn any spells affecting it and what they are.
Thank God we have Identify this time.
I know. I was just like, oh,
Right?
So necessary.
Oh my gods.
it's a
we did
great,
not have it last campaign.
great spell to have. So in casting it, you do find that this section is under the spell Illusory Script. And does it? I mean, I assume Identify would tell you what the hell the spell does, right?
I mean, does it?
I'm going to
It
say.
tells me. Okay.
I'm going to say.
You're like
yes.
one of us would know what that means.
Yeah, like it's a first level spell, so
Okay.
it lets you know that.
So okay, if we dispel it, it is going to go away.
Well, should it be dispelled, both the original script and illusion do disappear. Yes.
Mhm.
So for the duration of the spell lasts 10 days.
Days.
So you basically just have to either A, wait for the spell to wear off, or B, have true sight. As someone who has true sight or something that gives true sight would be able to read the hidden message.
Do we
Is
know
there somebody
anyone?
who is there somebody who knows what it says?
Whoever wrote it.
Okay. We don't know who that is.
Yep.
Correct.
Well, I mean, Cassian wrote it.
That's the assumption, yeah.
Okay.
Now,
I was just curious if there was someone we could compel to tell us what is there. We might have a means to do so. But
Yeah, Marshall, do you have any connections that have?
true sight, that's quite the talent. That I do not. However,
it wouldn't even need to be something, agreeable to our situation. If we wanted to, we could get what we need.
the good news
Because I have
is,
Zone of Truth, and they won't lie to us, and they will be unharmed.
well, the good news
You
is
have one of those
here-
too? Brilliant.
Good news is on this. I don't think we're gonna be waiting a full 10 days for this to show itself. I don't think whatever was written here was written earlier today. It means it was 10 days from whenever it was written. Looking at what a lot of the stuff that's around here. Oh, I don't know. Most notably, the date at the top of this page.
True detective.
This was written on the
Identify
Same.
didn't catch that.
same day as this. I'll tell you, 2 days from now, we're gonna find out what this says.
Well,
What do we do until then?
so we mostly hope, because it's not going to be too long before Castian realizes he doesn't have the right ledger.
We start by putting it back in the bag then.
Agreed. And
Yep.
then, how long do you think till he figures that we're the ones who have it, or do you think he'll blame it on?
It was definitely a laugh for us.
Well,
I
as soon
feel
He
as
like-
certainly
we-
won't think to come to us. I was very inconspicuous.
I'm going to turn to Kira, like eyebrows raised, like, well,
Well, we did say that the guy stashed it, and we found. 'cause he was
Yes,
gonna
we
stash
did. We put on a very good ruse about that.
It makes sense for him to
So-
stash it fake to throw everyone off his trail.
Mm-hmm.
Castian's
I did-
disappointed. It should be
yeah.
with that ass.
I did put that that little worm in Castian's ear. So, if anybody, they'll be looking for him, not us. At least at first, which will give us time to figure out what this is, maybe make another fuller copy, and then burn the original.
That
Is
was the
there anything we need to know from Castian? What I mean by that is we have it, he doesn't know we have it, so maybe we use that and we tell him, we get in front of it. We tell him that we send a letter. We tell him that we have the real one. If he doesn't believe it, he can check for himself. If he wants the real one, he needs to do something for us. Obviously, we're not signing it as ourselves. I don't know what information we need. Is there anything that we need from Castian?
Well, until we wait out that illusory script, we don't know what we don't know. And if you decide to do something like that, I cannot know
Know what?
that
Exactly.
you are doing
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Hmm?
I don't know. So whatever plan you make for that, do not tell me.
Tell you what?
But Garnet, if you could, make a copy of the nice things that he said before we burn it, that I would appreciate that.
Of course.
Anyway, I need some air, and Kira's gonna walk out
Yeah.
of the room.
Marshall looks at the rest of you. Well, if you're trying to figure out what to do with yourselves for a couple of days while we wait for whatever's on them pages to show itself, I'd be happy to put you up here at the repose for a spell. It's a nice place to stay, and we can decide on what to do after that, because I'm real curious what's on them pages. Y'all feel like laying low, taking it easy, just like us to hunker down and just kind of stay inside, if that's all right, just until we know what's on that, and just in case someone's out looking for y'all. I don't want you to get spotted in the streets. 2 days laying low sound okay for you if I pay for the room and board?
Stay inside this building.
Yes, please.
We're going to need adjoining rooms with a lot of mattresses.
I will see what they can do.
Okay.
Is there any way anyone can go on a shopping trip if we're locked up? All components while we're in this.
I can send somebody on a little shopping excursion if you need. Just I want to know what's on those pages, and I don't want anything to happen to any of you. If that's all right.
Alternatively, we got really good at that heist thing. Like the dude didn't even think that there was someone in like he thought it was me because he couldn't even see it because and we could just
Reba.
go out invisible and steal.
Hey, Reba, not to like. I think you're great.
We're so good at
You
it.
almost died.
Yeah, but that was the first time. That's like a first draft, you know?
And
Like, it's only
and
up from here.
there are also
You're not
folks.
supposed to say that in front of the marshal.
Yeah, well, I've heard worse. Don't you worry. There are also
I mean,
folks
you
who can
He
see.
asked us to
you
steal.
got mildly concussed.
There are also folks who can see straight through an invisibility illusion.
Which
So,
means that you can help us read the book.
or if they're the kind of folks looking for you, just do me a favor. Stay inside for the next 2 days.
Oh, stay inside.
We'll see what's in that book. We'll decide where we're going to progress going from there.
I'm not happy about it. I hate being hooked up.
Hey, Reba, I got an idea. This is something we used to do to pass time back where I'm from. And he's going to take like a mug of whatever we've got on the table. He's going to put it on his head. Now I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, Reba, make a barehand attack roll. Just make an attack roll, add proficiency and strength.
Thank you. Okay. Oh
Is that 20?
no! It's in that 20.
So you would do 2 points of damage plus your strength modifier.
Mm-hmm. Strength is +2.
So it'd be, and so just Reba, you.
Well, there
full
is
on
no
roundhouse punch.
there's no dice on a. That's the thing about critting on an unarmed.
Okay.
There's no
good.
dice to double.
Yeah, so
Anyway, sorry.
I doubled 1 to 2. So just
It's all good. Yeah.
boom, Pahaku, you've been punched many times. This was one of the best. You're not incredibly surprised, but nonetheless, you are a little impressed by Reba's form with this punch. And I don't know if there's anything you guys specifically want to do before we simply wrap up and jump to the page reveal.
Well,
That was a good one.
thanks.
Do it again.
If no one's gonna tell Kira to stay inside, he's
Oh, Kira-
gone for a walk.
Marshall will go looking for you right after getting
Mm.
getting them agreed, and he's
Then he would find Kira somewhere, like in one of the hallways, sat down and just slumped over.
you okay there, fella?
No,
What's the matter?
if this is all a lie, then if he's been lying to us about this, then what else could he? And I know that some things have to stay classified and stay secret, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah, life comes at you fast sometimes, and I wish I had ideas of what was best to do in every situation. From me to you, I think the best thing to do is find out what's on that page, because whether it's good news or whether it's bad news, I think it at least is going to put you in the right direction on things.
Yeah, I just also if this goes south, then there's no way I'm gonna be able to get them home. Like if
this
they're
goes
the
south, we may need y'all to go to your home, because if this means the apple's rotten to the core, that means someone's going to have to prune that fucking tree.
Siobhan's never gonna go. And I haven't had time for friends, really. And they're close to it. I just don't want them to hate the Empire more, cuz then they'll never agree to come along and see home and see. I want my aunt to know that I've got friends.
I don't think they hate your home so much as they hate an ideal and an organization. You wasn't surprised in the least by the number of people who bristle up at the mere mention of the census. And there are a lot of people that still remember previous emperor. Emperor Vilmos openly ruled with an iron fist. And I know his son's doing the best he can right now, and he's, they say he's different. Give it time.
Yeah.
Look, if I ain't tried to put a slug in your guts yet, you're doing okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any way that they're gonna ever go.
Darkest before the dawn. Never forget that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You need proof you got a friend when you get back to the Empire? You keep sticking on the path you've been on, and if you ain't been trying to pull one over on me, I'll go with you as your friend.
I'd like that.
Your old man did right by me. Did right by our rules up in the assemblage. Looks like the apple don't far too fall from that tree. I respect you. You've shown nothing but respect to me.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And I can't let them see that it's this hard.
Why not?
Because the way that they go in on any time I mention the Empire, they see this bit of weakness from me, they're not gonna even remotely entertain anything I say.
And I don't know one way or t'other. Not like I've been traveling with you all day and night. Or it might humanize you a bit to them. I know it ain't fair and ain't right, but I guarantee you they look at your youth a bit and they think you got rose-colored glasses about the ways of the world. I won't lie, I don't think that. I've seen some shit. We've all seen some shit. But you have shown a willingness to do right by them, at least for the most part. You've also had to do right by yourself. Ain't no harm in that at all. So yeah, I got faith in you. I got faith in all of you, as a matter of fact. I'm truly impressed. Why don't you hang out here at the Repose with all of us next couple days? We'll see what's on that page, and we will go forward as we have to do. And if you need me to stand by your side, I got you. I will head on in to the Empire, straight to the capital with you, and I will saunter up to whoever, let them know we're friends. Because I'll be real honest, I don't think anybody there wants to touch a marshal of the assemblage when he is not acting out of turn, because that would cause a real incident right there, my friend.
Yeah, yes it would. Yeah, maybe some rest is just what we need.
Yeah. I'll take care of the accommodations for the next couple of days. I have to apparently get you guys rooms that have a pass through with lots of mattresses. That's gonna
Oh, did Garnet talk about the fort?
a little bit. But if that's what y'all need,
Yeah, that's a thing.
well, we'll get y'all set up. Don't you worry. And a couple days from now, when we see what's on that page, we'll figure all that out. And so the 2 days pass by. A series of rooms with pass-throughs were not available. So instead, you are outfitted with, they're not quite suites, but they're more like luxury rooms. They're very large. That does have a pass-through between them. So there are enough beds to build a new Disco Fort kick-ass here. Obviously, you would have the benefits of long rests as nothing happens over these 2 days, but you all gather back in this private dining room, and you can almost feel the seconds passing by, feeling like hours, until finally this blank spot on the page, it's almost as if the words are rising out of the pages. Siobhan, what languages do you speak?
Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Halfling.
Okay. Garnet, what languages do you speak?
Gnomish and Thieves' Cant.
Kira.
It's human, Loxodon, and one other that I'm looking for.
Okay.
I think that other one's like Draconic or something like that.
Okay. Mannix, what about you?
Common, undercommon, and abyssal.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, it's common, undercommon, and Loxodon for Kira.
Okay. What about Pohaku?
Abyssal, Common, Draconic, Druidic, Primordial.
And nice. And then what about you, Reba? What do you speak?
Common, Orc, and Thieves' Cant.
Alrighty. So it's those of you who speak Abyssal that are able to read this as these words come forth. Not a commonly used language. Here, sort of Abyssal more being tied to like the realms of some of the dark elves and of Hela herself. You'll get that both in the Abyssal and Infernal. And what it says on there is Olaferus got sloppy. He's in over his head. And now he's going to be punished. The Upright thought they could make this move. And I will be their obstacle. This is not the way. The Hollow Keeper commands it. And that's where we're going to leave off.
Great. Cool. Cool and great. I don't know that. I don't know that. Cool.
I mean, I assume does Pahaku read this out for us, please?
Nah.
No, but I would imagine that would be shared. So you have that information. Whatever that means, that's where we will all
Great.
pick up. However, you guys did complete the heist and you got the object back to the marshal. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Why don't we get ourselves a level?
Yeah, I was waiting for when you said give yourself. I was like, oh, is this?
Level up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Six
Way
is
to
a big
ruin the
one for me.
surprise, Jamie. Way to go.
6 is the big one for me. All right.
So you
Cool.
all reach level 6. Decide if you're going to take that in your regular class or if you're going to multi-class or whatnot. And yeah, I can't wait to hear what new abilities you get. Level 6 gives some cool stuff. But that
Yes, it
is
does.
for next time. We'll find out what you all do with your level up. Next time we play, we'll find out, hopefully, what does all this mean? Who is the Upright? Who is the Hollow Keeper? And what is to come of Olaferus? But that's for then, not for right now. Congratulations on leveling up, you all. We'll see you all soon, and we'll see what chaos awaits.
Hooray.